Welcome back. President Trump will be making an historic visit today to the Department of Justice for a speech laying out his vision for restoring law and order and ending the weaponization of the Department of Justice and our law enforcement agencies. Here's the president yesterday.
We have a great Justice Department. Pam Bondi is so fantastic. We don't want to have crime in the streets. We don't want to have people pushed into subways and killed, and then the person that did the pushing ends up in a 15-year trial and gets off scot-free. We want to have justice, and we want to have safety in our cities as well as our communities. And we'll be talking about immigration. We'll be talking about a lot of things, the complete gamut.
And joining me right now is the woman tasked with the job, the nation's U.S. Attorney General, Pam Bondi. AG, great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Maria. It's great to be with you.
And, of course, you sat and testified under oath to the Senate Judiciary Committee, the same thing, that you would only follow the facts and the law. Tell us how you will de-weaponize the DOJ.
Well, Maria, we've been doing it since day one, and we're going to continue to do that. President Trump's mission was very clear. His directive was make America safe again. That's what we're going to do. No more weaponization. We're going to go back to fighting basic crime, getting these cartels out of our country by securing our borders, prosecuting the worst of the worst, seizing the drugs, which is what President Trump has directed us to do since the second he's been in office, and lock up the violent criminals as long as we can behind bars or seek the death penalty. And that's what we've been doing. You know, we've signed death warrants. We've to seek the death penalty since he's been in office. It's not business as usual. We are going back to the basics, fighting violent crime. And taking these drugs off the street is the main component of keeping our kids safe.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, because people have been afraid to walk the streets, basically, because there's no accountability. You have to go to the drugstore and find your toothpaste locked up. Tell me how you're going to do it and what you can tell us about the president's speech today at the DOJ.
Yeah, you know, he has never been to the Department of Justice.
That's amazing.
And it's right, and I can't wait for him to be there to show that he is going to make America safe, that he has been making America safe. Just since he's been in office, 2,000 kilos of fentanyl have been taken off the streets. It's crazy what he's done. 18,000 kilos of methamphetamine. These are the things that are killing our kids from coast to coast, whether it's St. Louis to 170,000 pills of fentanyl in Utah. That's one life per pill. And he has been fighting drugs, fighting the cartels, and we are going to keep America safe. And, you know, the weaponization has ended. They are trying to weaponize against Elon Musk, and we are not going to let that happen either.
Well, that's right. And we saw all the vandalism to the Tesla cars this week. President Trump will reportedly invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which allows him to fast-track deportations of criminals that are illegal migrants. ICE also arrested more than 32,000 illegal migrants in the first 50 days of the president's second term, including those 14,000 convicted of crimes. AG, I want to get your take on how you're going to do this, because you're facing pushback, right? The sanctuary cities are saying, no, 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 no. We are sanctuary. We're going to continue sanctuary. So where is the accountability for some of these sanctuary cities that are working against you?
Yeah, well, you're seeing what's happening. We're suing them. We're suing the states. They will no longer be sanctuary cities. We will come in there. We will arrest you. We will prosecute you. We will deport you. If you've committed a crime, you will go to prison in our country for as long as possible. If you're an illegal alien, we will deport you. It's that simple. That's what's been happening. Our federal government is working great now. You know, these liberal mayors, governors, we're not going to put up with it. I've warned them. If they're not listening, they will continue. We will continue to sue them. We will continue to pull their federal funding until they comply with federal law, because our job is to make America safe again. And I don't know how, Maria, they can quarrel with that.
Well, I mean, you're sending messages out that, you know, there will be accountability. And I think everyone has to agree that you want accountability for people who are, trafficking drugs and humans. So that's great. But we also have seen real weaponization against President Trump, against the Republicans over the last 10 years.
That's right.
I lived it, the Russia collusion story. Will anyone be held accountable for the Russia collusion lie that the Clinton campaign and the Democrats came up with against President Trump that ripped our country apart?
Maria, when we say we're ending the weaponization, we're ending it. People will be held accountable who weaponized our government. There were a lot of pardons out there, but there were a lot of people who were not pardoned. And if you targeted someone, if you went after someone because of their political affiliation, we will be investigating you. We will be looking at you, because that's the weaponization, and it has to stop. For instance, look what they're continuing to do, as I said, to Elon Musk. They are targeting Tesla dealerships, the stations where you charge a Tesla. They're vandalizing cars. I have already directed an investigation be opened to see how is this being funded, who is behind this, doing this. We have people we're locking up on that. We have someone in jail right now from one of the dealerships. They threw a Molotov cocktail through a dealership. They're looking at up to 20 years in prison. So if you're going to touch a Tesla, go to a dealership, do anything, you better watch out, because we're coming after you.
Wow.
And
Well,
if you're funding this, we're coming after you. We're going to find out who you are.
So, in terms of the Russia collusion story, is there any work on that? Are you going to try to find out who, in fact, pushed this lie that Trump colluded back in 2017?
Maria, we have teams of lawyers working nonstop on every issue you can imagine to end the weaponization. And what you're saying, that will put an end to the weaponization, all the lies, everything that's happened. It's over. It's a new day. We also want to move forward and fight violent crime.
Of course. And you also recently formed an internal DOJ team to work with DOJ on the cost-cutting measures. What can you tell us? Because they're going to dig into the nation's top law enforcement divisions, reviewing their internal budget reviews to find savings, right?
Yeah, the massive amounts of money that have been wasted. Truly, we know. I don't think any of us, Elon couldn't even dream how big the massive amounts of money were that's been taken from your tax dollars, from my tax dollars, and just squandered away to foreign countries all over the world, the USA, the EPA, and they're fighting us on that. They're trying to force us to pay this money out. We're not going to do it. We have teams of lawyers fighting to protect our tax dollars, and we're going to continue to do that. Of course, we're going to lose in these liberal district courts, but we will win in the Supreme Court. We will prevail. Donald Trump will control the budget. These agencies will control where their money goes. It was a setup from the beginning by all of these liberal agencies that when we came in here, all this money would still be flowing out. But they were caught. Now they've been exposed, and we will find all of them, and all of our great agencies who work so well together will protect Americans and Americans' tax dollars, thanks to the hard work of Elon and DOJ.
And you also want the public to trust the FBI. I mean, this is our leading law enforcement agency. We need everybody to trust the FBI, and I'd like to see some accountability. Can you take us from a 30,000 feet look at what happened here? How did it become so political, AJ?
Maria, that in my wildest dreams, I never realized how bad it was. But now that we have Kash Patel in there, and I'll tell you, in the Justice Department directly, it was totally weaponized. All the Jack Smith prosecutors are gone. All these agents at the FBI who are weaponizing government are gone. And that's where we're able to find the good men and women who want to be out there, who want to be fighting violent crime, who want to be keeping America safe, who want to be fighting terrorism. Last week, Director Radcliffe, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and I, we got to be at Dulles Airport in the middle of the night and greet a plane coming in from Pakistan with one of the worst terrorists in the world on the plane. And we got to thank the great men and women of the FBI. And that's what people don't see. The ones who are out there, they had spent a week in Pakistan getting this guy out of there. These people are second to none. Those are the real agents, and that's what we want to do, restore their integrity, restore the integrity of the Department of Justice, and show all the great things that at the direction of Donald Trump we're going to do for the next 4 years to keep America safe and make America safe again.
AJ, on the sanctuary cities thing, I know you've got all of these lawsuits out for people who are obstructing justice, obstructing your efforts. Are you saying that by the end of this 4 years, there will be no more sanctuary cities?
No way.
Okay.
No way. No more sanctuary cities. I wouldn't even say 4 years. I'd say give it to the end of the year. Sanctuary cities are over. There are no more sanctuary cities as far as the federal government's concerned. What a sanctuary city means is they are harboring criminals. They are harboring illegal aliens. And if you're tipping someone off when there is going to be an ICE raid, DHS raid, we will find you and we will prosecute you. That jeopardizes the lives of our great men and women in law enforcement. Not going to happen anymore. It's a new day, and we're coming after you.
That is incredible, AJ. All right, let me get your take on something else, which a lot of people were emailing me about and talking to me about when they heard that you were coming on the show. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the Epstein files. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the January 6th investigation. Are you going to give us any more information on these two issues?
Sure. And first to the Epstein, I'm mad that I didn't have more information on Epstein. I was given 200 pages of documents. I've asked Director Patel. He came in after that, of course. I'd asked for those documents prior to Cash coming in. Cash is going to get me all the information. I've asked him to find out why I didn't receive all those documents and he didn't receive all those documents. We've now found out, of course, that they were in New York. We've received truckload of documents of evidence, and Cash is going to give me a deadline on when he can go through that to protect, of course, the victims of sex trafficking who are wrapped into this. And he's going to give me a deadline on when he can get this, and we will get out as much as we can, as fast as we can, to the American people, because they deserve to know. Same with January 6th. We're all working on JFK right now. We will be working on Martin Luther King. All of these things that the president promised, we will be doing. They can try to hide documents from us, but they can't. It might take a little longer. We will find them and we will release them to the American people, because it's transparency.
I mean, we want to know if there was criminality during the during COVID and January 6th. I mean, on January 6th, there was speculation that they destroyed documents. Did they destroy documents, the January 6th Commission?
Maria, we are looking into all of that. Nothing is off the table.
And in terms of COVID and all of the thousands of people working with social media to try to censor Americans' information during the COVID era? Yeah.
Everything's being looked at. Everything is on the table. Maria, again, it was the ultimate weaponization, what they did, things that were hidden from the American people. But it's a new day. Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. We are all acting at his directive, and America will be transparent again as well.
Well, we love it. AG will be watching for this conference later when the president comes to the DOJ. We so appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right, America's Attorney General Pam Bondi. We'll be right back.